I'm Bill Kalton. Our guest on this episode of Foley today is Michael Pupper. Michael is the Executive Director and co-founder of TABI Oasis.
Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate you taking your time today to let me tell the story of TABI Oasis.
What is TABI Oasis?
Well, TABI is an acronym. It stands for Traumatic and Acquired Brain Injuries, and it's our mission to provide financial, nutritional, recreational, and mentoring support for persons affected by brain injuries. Now, it all started about 8 years ago when I got that phone call that nobody wants to get. My lovely wife, Maria, was in a horrific car accident and suffered a severe traumatic brain injury and a spinal cord injury. And from that moment, all we thought about was my wife in the bed. Nothing else mattered. We didn't think about our pets. We didn't think about our chickens. We didn't think about anything else. We grouped the family together and got down there to the hospital, and we waited and waited and waited for information. 8, 10, 12 hours after surgery, my wife was still in a coma. And at some point, you got to get something to eat. You got to get some sleep because you have to keep yourself aware and healthy so you can be there for them. We found some food at a fast food restaurant. Some people went to vending machines. And we did find a hotel room or an apartment room near the hospital that was quite expensive, but we didn't care. All we cared about was that person in the bed. So as the days went by, we were at the hospital. And about the third evening, this was in October, and we went home in the evening. It was about 8 o'clock, and my daughter Samantha and I were just taking a breather, getting a fresh change of clothes, getting showered, whatever it was. And there's a knock at the door. And this is 8 o'clock at night in the middle of October. We didn't expect it. I opened the door, and that was the pastor from a local church, a church that I know them as neighbors, but we're not members of. And he handed me a check. And I was absolutely stunned and said, "Here, Mike, whatever you need, let us know. We're here for you." And that let me know at that moment that we weren't alone at that time. And that check that they gave us was able to cover our lodging for the week. It was just amazing. So I told my daughter that, and we were both kind of teared up and crying. And my daughter got a phone call, and she handed me her phone. It was the head volleyball coach at Foley High School. She wanted to know if they could bring us some food. So she had baked a lasagna casserole so we could eat, warm it up, and do it quickly and get back to where we were. And then the coach also mentioned to me that her volleyball team teammates did fundraising with a Visa card for gas, a Coborn's gift card for groceries. And it really let us know at that moment we weren't alone in this, that our community was around us. No, I didn't know the girls on the volleyball team, and I hardly knew the volleyball coach, but people we knew came to us, and people we didn't know came to us to let us know we weren't alone in this. And then next day, a good friend of ours that lives halfway between the hospital in Minneapolis and the house offered a spare room to us that we could go there and just catch some sleep. And kind of had free run of their house, come and go as we pleased. And they even cooked breakfast for us and really let us know that we weren't alone in all this. It was about the 5th day. Well, no, it wasn't about. It was the 5th day. I run my own business. I'm a local computer guy. So I could take time off work. I don't have a boss with me. But there came a time where I did have to go back to work. I had to service my customers, but also all income stops when the whole family is down there in the hospital. So I was in my wife's room. She was still in coma. Got on my knees. I held her hand and I prayed. But I also apologized to her that I had to leave because I had to go to work. And that really hit me, Bill. It really hit me hard that I had to leave her bedside for the sake of money. And I said to myself, that'll never happen again. And I also said to myself, this should never happen to anyone. They have to leave the bedside of a loved one in this critical time for the sake of money. And that was the ember that lit the fire, which is now TABI Oasis. We're going to provide financial support almost immediately when the person is admitted to the hospital to pay for hotel rooms, meals, gas expenses, maybe babysitting, up to $200, almost immediately. And here's the real cool thing about that. It's like a bolt from up above. I didn't know, and our team didn't know how we would know that there was a family in need there in the hospital, what had a loved one in the bed. We found out through a friend of mine that North Memorial Health Foundation has a program to help us. They will interview the people because they know when someone is admitted to the ICU. Their staff, the social workers will interview the family, find out what their needs are, and they will bring the money to them. We don't have to do anything, and there's no cost to us to do that. So 100% of the money that we raise and give North Memorial into their fund, 100% is available for families. We also have coloring books in the waiting room. So the younger kids who maybe don't quite understand what's going on, someone can read to them. It's a nice story about your value as a person. So we're trying to take care of the whole family and just let them know that they're not alone. Now, as time goes on, things change and things kind of come to a kind of a stable point. So after the first 5 days or so, no more surgeries. The wife was kind of my wife was in a stable time. Then there comes a time where it's time for her to come home, and that was about 5 months later. And again, the family goes through a whole other change. How does that person's life look from now on? How do we care for her? My wife couldn't be left alone, so I was fortunate my dad and my cousin could sit with her for days so I could go back to work. But it really hits the family then, that's what the life is going to be like. And the financial hit when someone is in the ICU with a brain injury, if they're the breadwinner of the family, all income can stop. If they're a family member that's the breadwinner, all income stops unless they go back to work. So we're going to keep trying to find money for people so that during that next 5 months, maybe we can make a mortgage payment or a health insurance payment or something that they need. And again, this is all going to be done through the social workers and the team at North Memorial. We are partnering with other hospitals, but right now we're concentrating on one to build that relationship and get the money flowing out to people. The next time period is the first 5 years. What's life going to look like in that 5-year period? Is the person able to go back to work at what they did before? Are they going to be able to do any work at all? Is someone going to have to be there to care for them the whole time? So again, we're going to look for another financial boost to help them or find other resources where they can get some money to continue living in their same house or in their same area. And also help with nutritional guidance. When someone is in the ICU, they're on strong drugs for a good reason. It's to save their lives. But when they come out, we want to find healthy meals for people, healthy food choices for people so they can just live better and heal better. Also, we want to help with the recreation part. I've heard stories from many caregivers that have been with their person who was injured for years and years and years and never got a day off. Trips to Valley Fair were missed. Hunting and fishing trips were missed by the family. So we want to find and partner with other organizations that can do that for us to find someone to sit with the family so the caregiver can have a day off or a couple of days off, or bring the whole family to somewhere that's different than just sitting at the home. So those are really 3 separate time periods, 5 days, 5 months, and 5 years, and those are my timetable or our family's timetable. I think other people that go through this have the same similar time frames. They're just unique to their situation. So we're doing really well right now. We're in the fundraising phase and giving presentations, and really been blessed by some organizations to put money into our account. And our goal right now for fundraising, now through November 4th, is to raise $250,001 to put into the fund with North Memorial Hospital, and that will start the distribution of funds to people, the family around that person in the bed. But that's our goal right now, and we're really appreciate that you took time to let me tell the story.
It's great to have you here, Michael, to talk about your story. You have a unique logo. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, thanks, Bill. I hope everyone can see that, and it's got a lot of things, and it really tells the whole story. I talked about the 3 5s: 5 days, 5 months, and 5 years, and they're all around the sun. And this is an oasis. It's really that there is sunlight on the horizon. There is an oasis for families. We're going to try and provide the best services we can to the family, and of course that person that was injured. So the 5 5 are the 5 days, 5 months, and 5 years. Now a guide, a mentor of mine, I was trying to build this. I didn't know how to start or what to do, but I came up with that 3 5s. And she, on her own volition, looked it up on the web. And she found out that it means laughter, happiness, and success in different cultures. 555 means ha ha ha. So I knew I was on the right track. That just told me I was doing the right thing. Now the giraffe. Giraffes, I just love giraffes. They're a unique animal. They're beautiful, but they're strong and they're odd. And it reminds me of people who've gone through brain injuries, and they're different than they were before, but they're still strong and they still strive to be unique and be themselves. And that just reminds me of a giraffe standing tall. And on the other side is a butterfly. Now I have an affinity for butterflies, especially monarch butterflies. And I think they're the toughest animal in the world. If you think about that, you're driving down the highway, driving down a country road, and there's a butterfly coming across the road, and the gust of wind from your vehicle throws it 40 feet in the air, 40 feet off course. What does the butterfly do? Does it fall down on the ground and sit, fold its arms and pout? No. It gets right back on course to be the best butterfly they can be. They never quit. And that reminds me of people that have survived brain injuries. They've been knocked down, they've been thrown off course, but they never quit. And we're so proud of those people, and we want to let the families know that they're not in this alone. And then the rest of this is just an oasis, that there is a place that you can go that's going to be better. Whether we're helping them with some recreation, nutritional, and one of the biggest parts is the mentoring part. One of our board members had suffered a traumatic brain injury, and she was pretty much, after a couple of years, hundreds of appointments left on her own at home. And the medical community only knows so much. Each brain injury is completely unique. They kind of get to a point where they're just not sure what to do, and they try to be honest and say, you're on your own, which is horrible news, but it's what they do. They don't have all the answers because brain injuries are so complex. She was able to dig out of that and change her life around and become very, very successful at what she does. And what she says to me, what people need, families and the people that are injured, is someone just to listen. Not tell them what to do, tell them what their life's going to be about, but just listen, and then try to find solutions to, get better somehow, whether it's learning new skills or finding a job that matches your abilities at the time. So that's the biggest piece in the end. And we're going to do that. We're starting right now with just getting money to the family right then and right now when they're in the waiting room, to let them know they're not alone and that there's other avenues out there that can help them guide themselves through this.
So Michael, how do we contact, or how does a person contact TABI Oasis to donate or get information?
Well, we have a website. It's tabioasis.org, and there is a contact page there. You can reach out to us. There's also a place to donate funds. We're on Facebook, TABI Oasis on Facebook. We are on Twitter, and we're going to be on Instagram and others as time goes on. But right now, we've got a GoFundMe campaign live on Facebook. So if you look up TABI Oasis on Facebook, you can read a little bit more about our story, and you can donate if you can. If anyone is interested in helping us in other ways, whether it's becoming a board member or a volunteer, social media coordinator, anything like that, we'd love to hear from you. My email address is michael@tabioasis.org. You can reach out there. You can also reach out through Facebook.
Thank you, Michael, for being on Foley Today. That's Michael Puffer with TABI Oasis, and that's Foley Today. Have a good day.